from PONTON. Our core business is to help our clients achieve the maximum interoperability for their business integration projects. So our clients are business consortia, mainly from the energy sector, but also from others. In these episodes, which I'm going to present, we will focus on the question, what is interoperability and how can it be maximized? I will show some projects that we have done with our clients and which have improved the data exchange between the participants over years. I will also show AS4 as one of the standard workhorses for data exchange. And then over to you. What is your data integration issue and how can we help here? Hello, this is Merz from PONTON, and we have produced a couple of videos where we show how we do data integration for business communities. There are hundreds of business communities out there in the world who need to exchange data with one another because they do B2B processes. And there are various approaches to support that. What we do is two things. First, we offer services to standardize and to achieve a high level of interoperability within these consortia. And at the same time, we also have developed a tool called PONTON XP, which is used for exchanging data. Exchanging data means that this could be electronic invoices, it could be load data, for example, in the energy business, or it could be any data that is exchanged alongside a business process. And of course, if there is a business process which may have 2 or 20 steps, there's always data that needs to be exchanged. And data exchange may be done in very different ways. The APIs may be used between the participants, or message-based data exchange, where a message has a payload, and the payload is the business document which goes from A to B. And in this case, it also allows to store the data and to store everything, every accompanying information that comes with the data, like signatures or certificates, so that this can be validated at a later point in time. And what we have developed at PONTON is the concept of Yin-Yang-Yong. You know Yin-Yang. Of course, this is well known, but we add another Yang to that. And what does that mean? It means that the Yin is a data format that needs to be standardized. We need to speak the same language. So if I send you a document, for example, an invoice, the structuring of the invoice, the XML schema, if you like, needs to be standardized. So that if I say, this is an invoice for you, your system needs to be able to process that. So that is the data format, the Yin. And the Yang is the business process. So for example, for supplier switching in the energy sector, it is important that a multi-step process is understood by every endpoint communicating here. So in addition to speaking the same language with regards to the data format, it's also important to understand the same business process with certain rules and roles, so that again, we also speak the same language here. And then comes the Yang. And the Yang is the data exchange protocol. And here people usually say, oh, if we want to upload data to the receiver, then we just use FTP, or we use web upload, or we use HTTPS for data exchange, whatever is there. Or AS4, which is one of the latest B2B protocols used for document or data exchange. Or the predecessor, XML 2.0, which we have been using for 20 years now, more than 20 years. But this is the Yang, but this Yang part of the standardization has a lot of parameters that the whole consortium needs to agree on. So for example, what is the timeout? I sent you something I send you a document, an invoice, or a load document. And then the question is, when should it be repeated to send the document? Because I didn't receive a response from the receiver. And how often should it be repeated? And after how many repetition with so and so many seconds each, should the transmission be stopped? And an error should be reported back to the sending system. So this is only one facet. Yeah. So another one, just to not let it be too complex now. Another facet is, do we want to have signed acknowledgements which are sent back from the receiver to the sender? Do we want to have hash values of the original message as part of what is signed in the acknowledgement? And. You understand there can be 80 to 100 different of these parameters that both sides, and actually all sides, it could be hundreds of participants, that all agree on. And that is also the Yang. This is the third part of standardization. And if we standardize the Yin-Yang-Yong, the data format, the business process, and the communication protocol, then we already have reached a lot. Yeah? So this helps us to avoid any individual extension to what has been standardized. But we don't stop actually at the Yin-Yang-Yong. There could also be a Yin and a Yang and furthermore. Yeah? So just to touch this, what type of organization do we choose? Do we want to have a to-be-founded third party in the middle who organizes the entire process and who runs potentially a central system? Or do we do that just as a group, as a standardization group, as a loose coalition of business partners? And do we exchange the messages in a peer-to-peer style without anything in the middle? Or do we want to have a central data hub, which is used for a data exchange? That is possible. And then, of course, there's the legal aspect. How should the contracts be designed so that all participants agree to the same legal stipulations? Yeah, this is very important because we don't want to have first-class citizens and second-class citizens in most cases. Yeah, so we want to have a level playing field which is open for everyone to join under exactly the same conditions. Then the financial question is in the room. Who pays for this? Yeah, and how is it paid? Is it like PONTON charging invoices to every individual participant on a yearly basis? Or is there a third party in the middle to which PONTON is the service provider, and then that party again charges on a yearly basis to each participant? Or this is to be agreed, but whatever solution is agreed, it needs to apply for everyone in the same way or in a structured way, so that we don't have discussions here, that we avoid any exceptions, because that also means standardization. And then, of course, the documentation is important. Yeah, someone needs to document process definitions, communication protocol profiles, and of course also the data format, and it needs to be made available. So that is, in short, what needs to be looked at if we as a business community want to agree on a data exchange standard, on data integration, data sharing, whenever we need to use data jointly, or whenever we need to exchange data within our business group.